guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Maple, and for today's video we're going to be playing the demo for Sunnyside on Steam. So this game does have some mixed reviews. It had a lot of problems in development and post-release. I technically would consider this game unfinished in its current state, and some of the reviews are pretty rough, but I've also seen some reviews that say it's like a diamond in the rough and it has a lot of potential. So I just wanted to check this game out for myself. I have been following it at a distance since 2021 when they first announced it, and I thought it looked really promising, so I'm hoping that there's something in this game that I can like, and I wish well for this game and its developers, I really do. But speaking of the developers, I'm going to put on screen right now some information that you need to know if you're interested in this game at all, if you play the demo or buy the game, whatever. I would recommend, by the way, while I'm thinking of it, if you're going to buy the game or play the game, do so on Steam and get it when it's on a very steep sale. I think that goes without saying. So as I play through the demo, I'm going to just give my totally honest review, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what I love and hate. And I also am going to tell you a little bit of the backstory of what's going on with the developers and the publisher, because I feel like you can't fairly rate or judge the game without knowing some of what's going on. So the demo gives you 10 in-game days, and I think that's pretty good, especially because you can go in the settings and adjust the length of the day. So if you feel like it's going too fast, you can always stretch that out to like 60 minutes for a day, which is pretty good. And I'm starting on day 2. I did record day 1, but I thought it was too boring, so I cut it. It was mostly just me playing with the character tutorial stuff and like character customization and tutorials, so it wasn't anything extraordinary. The character customization is alright, I guess, and the tutorials and stuff I felt like were pretty thorough. I felt like I understood everything, and nothing was really left for you to have to figure out on your own. So I feel like that part of it was good, and I didn't really need to include that in here because I can just say it. So we're starting on day 2, and something that I absolutely love about this game, and this is part of why I think this game was so promising, is because it's very modern. It's a modern take on a farming sim. So one of the ways that they have doubled down on that is that you carry around your smartphone with you and you pull it up to be able to do all sorts of things. It's like one of the biggest gameplay aspects of the entire game. And you can get these different apps that update periodically as you do quests and stuff. This on screen right now is the Sunny Seed Company. It's an app where you order all your seeds. As far as I've seen, I don't think you can buy seeds like in a store or from a character in game. It's all from this app. And I love how detailed, lifelike, and realistic this is. This is just like if you're going to order from a seed company in real life. And I love all of the like filters on the side, and I don't know, I just think it's so cute, and it's also just like the realism is amazing. I love the realism of it, and this game has got so much as far as customization goes, and like every tiny little detail they have paid so much attention to, and I think that that is just so cool. And as for like using your phone to order your seeds and using your phone to do so many things in the game, I just think is so fun, because like what other farming game has that? You know, it's so modern, and that is one of the biggest selling points for this game, is that it was a modern, fresh take on a farming sim. I think they nailed that, and it's definitely like very innovative in the sense that I can see a lot of other games learning something from this and it being a game changer, because like this is so much more convenient, you know, to have an app that you just pull up and do this stuff instead of having to like run all the way to town and buy your seeds and then go all the way back and everything. I think that that's such a smart, small detail. I'll also say that I really like how detailed the animations are. Like most farming games, when you go to plant something, it's just like it just kind of plops into place and you don't really move that much. But in this game, your character is so like detailed. I've said detailed a million times, but like this game is so detailed. And the way the animation is when you actually dig, she actually like puts her weight on the pitchfork and digs a spot. And there's also so many different tools to use that are more realistic to how it is in real life. I live on a farm, I know. And I don't know, like it's just, again, detail. I will probably say that a million times in this review because it is just such a big thing in this game is the level of detail, but in a way I think that also is kind of one of its drawbacks because I think that's part of the problem, that it's having so many technical difficulties and maybe it was a little too ambitious and couldn't like fully flesh out its ideas, but the ideas are genius. Now let me show you one of my absolute favorite things in this whole entire game. Like, this is an instant win for me, that you can actually use a hose to water your plants very quickly instead of a watering can that's like 1 by 1. This is what I mean by this game is so brilliant and modern and innovative, because you don't see this in farming games. It's always a watering can, you have to refill it 100 times, you have to go one little square at a time, and it takes absolutely forever and makes it such a chore, which it is in real life. If you're wanting realism, I guess that's it. But this hose, like, come on, this is also realistic. Like, who doesn't have a hose on a farm? Something that I really like too is the actual layout of the land in this game, and I'm not talking about graphics, that's a whole nother story, but I like that the town, your farm, all the areas that you can walk around and explore are not totally flat and soulless. A lot of farming games, or just games in general, tend to oversimplify and just be really flat, but there's all like hills and little valleys and rivers and stuff all through here, and it just makes it seem a little bit more realistic, but the graphics are another story. Another thing I really like about this game is the way that you can purchase things through the shops, the actual stores that you can go in and shop around in. I like when you interact with the cash register that this little book comes up and it's like you add things to your receipt, you can see your total and then check out, and I really like that because it makes it easier to see what you've actually got and how many of things, whereas a lot of other games you can only purchase one item at a time, or you can maybe buy in bulk, but it can only be of that one item, whereas this, you just add everything to your little order sheet and then you go. So here is where I became mildly horrified. So this is a farming game, and the ranch animals, livestock, your pets, those are a big part of it. And they don't look very good. Let's just be real. I appreciate that they're different and they're not just the same copy and paste kind of models that we usually get in farming games. And I wouldn't say that they don't fit the style of the game. They do, but they're kind of scary. The cows are not as big as most cows in real life, and they're shaped weird. This sheep is going to give me nightmares. Look at its beady black eyes. It wants me dead. And I don't know, I think they need a complete overhaul, to be honest. They're just not good, and even like their movements and things are just all wrong. And for a game that's so detailed and tries to be really realistic on other things, I just wish that they had done a little bit more with the actual animals. And I live on a farm in real life. We have probably over 100 animals easy. So I see all these things basically every day, and I can tell you they're not very accurate looking. Like, the sizes are wrong. The animations, you can kind of see where they're going, like especially with these chickens and ducks, they're a little bit better, but the other animal animations are just not very good. They're not realistic to how they actually move and behave in real life. And then you have glitches like this where the cow is like completely lodged in the gate, and then this cow started having some kind of issue on top of that one, and it's just you can tell the game is not finished, and it's truly not. So I guess I'm not surprised. It's just a little disappointing. And I feel like I'm being a little bit overly critical with saying that their proportions aren't right and their animations and behaviors aren't realistic, but this is a game that really marketed itself as being detailed and realistic, and when it doesn't hit the mark on something that's really integral to the game, it deserves to be criticized. It really does. I will give credit where credit is due, though, and say that you can tell that they did some research on like livestock and their care and where they're kept and stuff, because the buildings, the pastures, the feeders and water troughs, the halters hanging in the barn, all those things are realistic and accurate to how it would actually be in real life, and that's the kind of detail that I really appreciate in this game. It's just that the actual animal models themselves and their animations seem like a placeholder. They don't feel finished to me. So going back to the smartphone real quick, one of the things that you can do when you're introduced to really early in the game is the camera mode, and it's really fun to take selfies in this game. You can save it to your in-game camera roll, and you can pick these different faces. Some of them are frightening. I couldn't figure out how to get my character to look at the camera, and it was a little wacky and wonky to try to control the different angles and stuff, but overall, I think it's alright. I think the idea... Now she's looking at the camera. I think the overall idea of it is really good. Oh, the eyes. Oh, the eyes. It needs some work, and like everything else... Oh, God! We just seen too much. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me try to do that again. That was hilarious. Oh my God, what was I even saying? So... there's potential here. There definitely is. Like, the whole game, it's a diamond in the rough, and it just needs some more work. And just to show you how detailed and how much like a real smartphone this is, look at all these different apps, your settings, your photos. You can change the sound of your notifications. You can change the phone case color, the wallpaper, all of it down to the tiniest detail, and everything in this game is so customizable. Another love-hate thing for me in this game is the map. You can access this either by just hitting the M button on your keyboard, or you can pull it up on your phone. So I love the mechanics of the map. Again, I think it's very modern and innovative. You can click on different buildings. It tells you who lives there. You can click on buildings and it pulls up almost like this little thing that looks like a Google review of the business, and I just think that that's so smart and so realistic and just adds so much to the game. But as you can see, the map is ugly. This is the ugliest map I think I've ever seen in a game, maybe literally ever, and it does not fit the style of the game to me. It completely sticks out like a sore thumb. Nothing about this is cute or good. I don't even understand what they were going for with this. It looks like a map in a super old game, and then it would be acceptable, but it does not look good as a modern day game. But like I said, the actual mechanics of the map are really good. I forgot to mention this a second ago, but it's another thing that I like about the phone in the game in general, is that you can actually use the phone like a phone. You can contact the characters in the game, and when you click on one, it shows you this really cute little profile. You can send them a message, and of course you can't actually type what you want. You have to pick something that is already there, but it makes it feel so real. And you can use the phone to actually contact them and invite to hang out or whatever. And again, that's just so convenient, like the Seed app and the map that you can pull up on the phone and everything. It's just so convenient and modern, and I really, really like that. Check this out. What? Like, your character runs and jumps like we're in a life and death situation. Like, this is an action game. Another big win for this game is the fact that they have these claw machines that you can actually play. I didn't really have enough money to be able to spare on it to actually test it, so I don't know how hard it is, but the plushies are absolutely adorable, and I would buy them. Like, even in real life, I would buy those things. They're so cute. There's also these little capsule games that you can play too, and it's just things like this that are a small detail, but I think add so many layers to the game and make the town and world feel so much more realistic and lived in. Speaking of realistic and lived in, I like that the characters, not only is there just a ton of characters in this game, but they feel to me like they're really fleshed out and they have good personalities. They're each unique. They have backstories to learn, and I like that they seem like they have like actual schedules and like a life that's going on outside of you as the character. A touch of realism that I really liked is that you actually have to be patient and wait for things to be delivered to you or to be ready to pick up. So that little box there is where my seeds will go once they actually are delivered that I ordered off of the app, which very realistic. Amazon, FedEx, they're pretty slow sometimes. I don't know if they do or not, but if this game has like package lost or delivered to the wrong house, then it would really be realistic to my life. Also, in the very early days of the game, be prepared to be doing some very time-consuming running across the map like this. So, you know how in most farming games you just sort of land in this little small town and you don't really travel or go anywhere else, and if you do, it's to another small town or like a wilderness area. This game you actually can go to the bus stop and travel to the city, and yes, it is just like a big square. You can't really just explore endlessly, but it gives you the illusion of being deep inside like Tokyo or somewhere. And I just think that that is such a great detail. There's that word again. But I love it. I love the level of, like, there's so many layers to this game that try to make it feel as realistic and lifelike as possible. And some ways I feel like they're not fleshed out enough. Like, the interiors are really hit or miss with me. Sometimes they look really good, and sometimes they look really bland and lackluster. But overall, I think this is just another thing that the game is so ahead of its time with, if you know what I mean. Like, the fact that you can live in the little town on a farm but also travel to the city to shop, that is just such a cool thing. As for the graphics, I think, like I said, the actual lay of the land in the game is really pretty, the designs are nice, and there are some places in the game that I think look really good. Like right here is very pretty. And the intention of what it should look like is definitely there, and it's good. I just feel like there's too many things that are really copy and paste, and there's like this green shrub that's absolutely everywhere, and then like a bamboo-y type plant that's absolutely everywhere, and it's just over and over and over again, and it's kind of lifeless. And I understand that it might have just been considered like a placeholder or something, but it definitely, I think, needs a little bit more depth in the environment as far as the plants and stuff goes. But the idea is excellent. Like, this pond and this house looks so good. There's just something missing, and I don't know exactly what it is, and I do think it might partly just be the graphics, and I know a lot of people hate the graphics in this game. I'm not a fan of it, and I'm not a hater of it either. I don't necessarily like the character design or the animals. The environment, I like the best of those things, and I can see what they were going for. I just don't know that it was executed good. But again, I know a lot of problems happened in the development of this game that wasn't the developers' fault themselves. So I don't really... It's a mixed bag, because yes, this is a review and I don't think the graphics are great, and there's a lot of technical problems with this game, but at the same time I feel like it's not as bad as a lot of reviews have made it out to be. So yes, a lot of the environment and the textures have that flat, kind of photorealistic but yet pixelated look of a very outdated PlayStation 2 game, which, yeah, that's a problem, definitely, for a modern game, but I just don't think it's that bad, and I don't think the the graphics and the environment are unforgivable by any means. Like, the game to me is fun. Like, that's my honest opinion. I don't think it's nearly as bad as people have made it out to be. It does have problems, it has a lot of technical problems, but I don't think any of them are like things that make the game unplayable or unenjoyable. I think there is a lot here if you can put aside the bad. But I understand entirely that a lot of people don't want to put money into something that they have to overlook something so major. If it's a major thing to you, then, you know, play the demo, see if you can forgive it or not. I think I can probably forgive it. For me, there's something about like the weird textures and graphics that feel like a PlayStation 2 game that I almost like. It feels charming and quaint to me somehow, and it brings me back to when I was little playing these kind of games. So I don't know. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I don't love it either, but it's not unforgivable, I don't think, in my opinion. So this cute little robot actually saved me from a cave-in, and I do know that at some point there's like boss battles and creatures and stuff that you have to do combat against, at least in the caves. I didn't make it that far into the game because this was the demo, and I don't really know what the story is with this robot either. I don't know what the backstory is, but I do know that this game has like an actual storyline and plot that runs through the whole game. So because this robot's introduction was so interesting, I'm really intrigued now to know what the whole story is. This is part of the reason why I said I'm not a big fan of the character art styles. Like, why? What is wrong with him? Why is he standing like that? Why is his shoulders that way? The actual, I don't know what it's called, but this little pop-up thing when you're talking to them, that looks great, and I love that style. But I understand that like the whole game, like the characters actually moving around in the game can't necessarily look that way. So it's going to be different, but I am disappointed by the way the NPCs look. I catch them walking around and making like these weird expressions, and it's kind of like unsettling because sometimes they'll tilt their heads and turn and look at you out of the corner of their eye sideways, and it's just very strange. So that's another way that unfortunately you can tell the game is not quite finished or polished. On a positive note, I do like the crafting in this game. So far anyway, I think it's pretty straightforward and simple. There's quite a few things that you can craft yourself right out of the gate. Some other things you have to either level up, or you can hire the right person at the shop in town to make it for you. You still have to gather the materials for it and pay them to do it, but I mean, that's your way of getting it early on, which is fine. I do like that, and I like that when you go to a store to put in an order or shop for supplies, you can pull a tab to the side that shows what project you're working on, and it shows all the requirements and the materials you need for it, which is another thing that is just super convenient. So I don't have time to get in it too much, but basically the issues with the game lies with the publishers more so than it does with the developers. The developers have poured their heart and soul in this game, and they've really tried, and they will come back to the game eventually, I think, and fix it. And once they do some bug fixes and things, I think this game has so much potential if they do ever come back to it. In the state that it is right now, it's definitely unfinished, but in my opinion, it's not that bad, and if you are like me and can overlook and forgive the issues it does have, I think that this is honestly a little hidden gem.